So let's take a look now at some of the other objects that we can insert into our slide. If we come to the Insert menu, we've already looked at how we can insert images and text box, but we can also include audio, video, all kinds of different shapes, including arrows, callouts, and equations. We can insert tables, in which case we just choose the number of rows and columns that we want for our table, and we can format this in the same way as you would with any kind of standard word processor. We can also insert charts, and the way that this works is that it's linked to Google Sheets. So if I come into this menu here and choose Open Source, that's going to open the source of our chart, in this case a sheet, just as kind of standard template one that they've created for us here. We could obviously amend this or work on our own sheet if we wanted to, and then import that back into our slide. We can also insert all kinds of different diagrams. And the great thing about this is that we have a bunch of different pre-designed elements that we can use, which will save us a lot of time. So for example, we can add in a timeline that looks like this, but we can also then edit it around if we want to. We can also insert word art and lines, for example. There's different types of lines, so we can insert arrowed lines. And again, we can format this in terms of what kind of ending they have, whether it's an arrow or a square, how thick the line is, the color of it, whether it's dashed, and all the other kind of usual formatting options that we've already looked at. And we can move these around like so to kind of point at different things. And again, perhaps animate these so that they appear when we click. Just have a look at that, for example. Hit click and it appears. Let's just delete that for the moment. We can also add comments, which isn't so much for the sort of public facing side of things, but if we're working on a slide deck collaboratively, we can use this to highlight potential issues or tag in colleagues who may want to add some content or check something for us, for example. We can also add new slides and slide numbers. So let's look in a bit more detail then at adding audio. So we're just going to come to our Insert menu, click on Audio. This is going to bring up the browser where we can search within Drive or put in our different URL, for example. I'm just going to choose some audio, which is a voiceover that I've recorded on the topic of something called the harmonic series in music. This can take a moment for slides to encode the music, but when it's finished, you'll end up with a little round kind of grey music icon like this, or speaker icon. We tend to put ours in the top right, kind of out of the way, and then the learner, or if it's yourself giving the presentation, when they're kind of watching it, can control the audio settings by just clicking onto this little icon here. We can hit play, we can move the position through the audio file, adjust the volume, and so on. And we can also choose some formatting options as well. For example, for the audio to start playing when we click, or automatically when the slide loads. We can also choose the volume of the audio playing when we're presenting. We can loop this audio around and choose whether the audio stops whenever we change slides. So if this audio is specific just to this slide, you most likely want it to stop when a new slide is loaded, but you might want to have some music that's kind of looping throughout your presentation, in which case you could just choose loop and turn off stop on slide change. Other than that, we can then just format the way that this looks. So we can choose and change the size and rotation of it. Again, we can use the handlebars to do that if we want to. And then all the other same kind of formatting that we've looked at before in terms of adding things like a shadow perhaps as well. Let's go ahead and add a video next. And this works in much the same way, where we can actually either choose a file from Google Drive or we can embed something from YouTube. So I'm just going to come into here and find something from DBS Institute Bristol. Let's take this first one here, which is a campus tour. And then we're going to get a thumbnail, or whatever the video's thumbnail is over here. We can see this actually playing now in YouTube as well. And once again, we can kind of click this, we can move it around to kind of line it up perhaps with some of the other elements on the page, like so. And we can choose the video playback option, so whether it's playing on click or whether it plays automatically, or if indeed the learner or indeed the presenter needs to choose to play this video manually. We can also choose the start and end points for the particular video if there's just like a particular section that you're looking for. You can also by default have the audio muted when the video starts to play, if that's preferable. So very quickly and easily we can start to create very media rich, very engaging slide content that has text, which is perhaps animated and dynamic. We can choose to include imagery, videos, audio, and this can help to create a really engaging and multimodal learning experience for our learners.